how have the tariffs impacted you so far? And if these new tariffs kick in, what do you see as the further impact?
Thanks for having us here today. I think the most important thing to think about, especially when it comes to emerging brands and businesses, is that it materially impacts our ability to make any strategic decisions, as well as product innovation to expand and grow our companies to remain in a competitive, advantageous place.
You know, Arnold, you do make bikes here in the United States as well. You're based in New Jersey, you got South Carolina and in China. Why can't you make all the bikes here?
There's no bicycle parts industry. There was a bicycle parts industry in the United States in the 70s and the 80s, but the unfair competition from China wiped it out. And by 1995, everything was gone. So
this is not just a measure of a Kent bike being raised in price by $25. This is, you probably can't build the bike.
The parts are not available right now at all. I mean, we would like to, and we're working on programs to bring it back, but it's going to take years.
Are you seeing the same thing, Lynn? Is it not just about the money? Is it just about the availability? Like, you may not have a company?
Well, if you think about job creation and innovation, they both go hand in hand. So we're talking about company growth, being able to create new businesses and products in the United States and importing them from places that enable us to grow and scale competitively amongst bigger players. That's critical to American innovation and the culture that we seek to cultivate. And so with this trade war, what it stands to do is impede on our ability to remain competitive in that way.
I think, Lynn, if the president was sitting here, though, he would say to you, just make your stuff in the United States. Make it here, sell it here.
Yeah. I can totally understand that sentiment, yet at the same time, part of the challenge is you're talking about infrastructure and scalability challenges. So when you're talking about American manufacturing, there's a lot to be proud of in America, but what's also missing is the scale. The scale just simply is not the same as it is overseas, as well as the cost of labor. Even with fair trade practices enacted overseas, the cost of labor still remains to be much more competitive than the United States. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, but we know, Arnold, it's not just about cost. The idea, I think, is simple. Make it in America. Yes, the product will go up in price. The consumer will have to pay more, but you're going to employ your neighbor. So that guy that maybe lost his manufacturing job can work for you. But is it simply not only too far gone, but there's 7 million open jobs in America. Are the workers to do that even available?
No, if we're going to be manufacturing in America right now, these have got to be high-tech jobs. The welding will be all done by robotics. The tube bending and cutting will be done by automation and by laser cutting. So these are not jobs of people that are on the bottom. These
but
are really...
in some, okay, so that's maybe bad for jobs, but in some ways, could that make us more cost competitive? Is the idea that it shouldn't just be about 1,000 people in a factory working for low wages to make something? It could be 3 people and a bunch of robots, but that brings down the overall product so you can compete on the global stage.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. We'll need more than that because robots need a lot of repairs from time to time. But we're working on that. We want to build products here, but it's going to take time.
Do you, Lynn, quickly, do you look to say, okay, you know what, I got to look at India, I got to look at Bangladesh, I got to look at Sri Lanka?
Yeah, our team has already been working on second and third party sourcing in other areas around the world to try to be competitive and to resolve this situation. But when you look at the larger players in consumer brands, they're able to make some of these larger pivots, even though it'll affect their bottom line as well. Whereas emerging brands and businesses, such as both of our businesses, we have to work a lot harder to be able to stay alive and to be able to serve our employees, serve great products, and still remain competitive. And 70% of consumer spending makes up our GDP, so it does trickle down. And so we're all working hard here to, fight against this tariff war. But the best we can do is to band together and sign a letter like this to show, united front that it's important.
Different sides of the country, but same sides of this issue. Lynn and Arnold, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely.
Lynn, thank you very much for joining us.